would like to play. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. The Nintendo Wii was a hell of a console. Where other game companies destroyed themselves by trying to market to the masses, Nintendo was able to perfect that type of marketing by creating games that everyone and their grandmother could play. And one such game is Wii Sports Resort.
Wii Sports Resort was developed by Nintendo EAD and published by Nintendo in July of 2009 in North America. Wii Sports Resort was the second of the Wii Sports titles released on the Wii and incorporated the Wii Motion Plus, and this allowed for one-to-one motion controls. And let me tell thee this, these motion controls actually worked and provided an experience like none other. For years, companies had wanted to move away from the controller to a more VR experience, but the tech had never been there. With Motion Plus, the Wii Waggle did what you thought it would do and made for a truly immersive experience. And in the space future of 2024, it's still pretty neat how well this works and how easy the setup is. The Wii and its motion controls were not only immersive, but Nintendo was also pretty clever in how they marketed the system and its games. This was supposed to be a console for the whole family, and thus the Wiimotes were like little remotes that even non-gamers could figure out. Getting the Wiimote set up to talk to the machine was accomplished by just setting up a sensor bar, and that was so easy that even the tech-illiterate people could do it. And finally, we got the games themselves. Wii Sports Resort was designed to be intuitive, immersive, and understandable for both gamers and non-gamers alike. The game itself is a collection of mini-games. You have 12 mini-games in total, each of varying quality. My personal favorites are bowling and archery, and we will go in depth on those in a moment. Where the motion controls really shine is with games that mimic holding and manipulating an actual object. Where they're a bit of a letdown or where they're more or less just a more awkward controller. First off, sword fighting. I like sword. It's a personal weapon. Swordplay is pretty fun, but mindless, and it's hard to pull off any moves other than just flailing about. Wakeboarding is pretty boring and really does not work at all with the motion controls, and it feels like it would have been more fun with a real controller. Frisbee works well enough with the Wiimote, and it feels like you're throwing a real Frisbee about, but due to the nature of the game, it will get dull pretty quick. Basketball is pretty fun. You gotta throw the basketballs into a number of different hoops under a set time limit, and the throwing motion is pretty realistic, but still gets a bit dull. Table tennis, aka ping pong, is pretty true to life and gives you all the fun of playing ping pong without needing a big bloody table. Golf is 100% golf! You could just go for an open-faced club sandwich right about now. But seriously, the controls take a little getting used to, but once you do, golf is a pretty good game to go to if you get sick of bowling and archery. Cruising is a game that really could use a true controller and is pretty lame with the Wiimote. Paddling the school canoe? Oh, you better believe that's a paddling. Paddling the canoe is about as stimulating as you would expect it to be. Works well enough with the motion control gimmick, but gets old fast. Cycling is by far the worst of the lot, and you move your hands up and down like you're pedaling a bike? This is really a stretch here, and is one that you will seldom play, if ever. Finally, you got air sports, and it's pretty fun, I guess. You fly a little plane around the Wii Sports Resort, and you can zap things with stun blasters, and it's a nice diversion for about 5 minutes. The best games out of this entire lot are bowling, archery, golf, and table tennis. The rest of the games either control pretty crappy with the Wiimote or are just boring as all hell. If all we had were just bowling and archery, it would have been worth the $50. Wii Bowling is a one-to-one bowling experience, and you can play with up to 4 players. Bowling takes skill and is a great local competitive sport, and you can get all the fun of bowling without ever leaving the house. Archery is also pretty bloody fun, and controls in a manner somewhat similar to a legitimate bow. You use both the Wiimote and the nunchuck, and this is a good game to break out when everyone is sick to death of bowling. For decades, gaming companies have been trying to get gaming to the broadest market possible, and the Wii, thanks to this game and its predecessor Wii Sports, printed money. This collection of minigames was addicting enough for real gamers and fun enough for non-gamers. Other companies would try to capitalize on the success of the Wii motion controls to little success. When it comes to motion controls, there are very few ways that it can actually work, especially when you want to make games for all audiences. And I hate to say it, but bowling is pretty much the peak, as it's easy to pick up but hard to master. Sadly, no devs could figure out other games that had the lasting appeal of Wii Sports Resort, and it took until 2000 2022 for there to be another compilation game of this style to be released. Switch Sports Resort was released in 2022 and is more or less the same as this one, but on Switch, and a little less charming as it eschews the Miis. What's a Mii, you might ask? It's a little avatar that you can customize, and this was all the rage in the old Wii days. If you have an old Wii laying around, you might just plug that one in and get to the bowling alley. But if you're a member of the PC gaming master race like myself, then you need to get thyself a boon of the machine god, aka the Dolphin Bar. You can get one off of Amazon for $40. Well, that depends on the hyperinflation. You can plug that bastard into the PC and boot up the Dolphin emulator and upscale Wii Sports Resort to 2K and beyond. The Dolphin emulator works directly with the Dolphin Bar, and you can sync your existing Wii modes to it, and thus you can have all the fun of the Wii on the PC. The graphics for Wii Sports have aged gracefully, and everything still looks as great as it did in 2009, especially with Dolphin helping out. All the games emulate well and work as well on the PC as they did on the Wii, although you may have to configure a few Dolphin settings here and there. Sound for the game is great and really helps in the immersion, and finally the music is excellent and never gets annoying. Wii Sports Resort was and is one of my favorite family games. It's just a really wholesome package. The Wii was originally released in 2006 and I got mine in 2009. Those things were worth their weight in gold, or before inflation, silver. Everyone wanted them, and for good reason. You had a system for the whole family, and I know this might sound silly, especially if you have an annoying, or shall we say, difficult family, but if you just so happen to have a cool family like mine, the Wii allowed you to share your gaming pastime with them. In my family, my grandfather was the only other gamer, and he generally preferred just single-player games. With the Wii, I was able to play games with my mother, grandmother, and grandfather. What's really cool is the Wii allowed people with a certain ailment to play certain sports. After a major wreck a decade ago, as of this video's recording, my grandmother found it a bit difficult to bowl at an actual alley, but with the Wii, she can have fun like she always did. I have a lot of very fond memories of playing the Wii with my family back in 2009 through 11. We played it every bloody Friday for hours. Eventually life happened and it got packed up. But in 2023, I got inspired to get the Wiimotes out to fiddle with the Dolphin Bar. Don't leave batteries in a Wiimote for 10 years. Thankfully, Nintendo made those things string, and after a little work, my grandfather and I got them working again. And sadly, this would be the last electronics project we would work on before his passing. Eventually, one thing led to another, and I brought my PC out into the living room and set up the Dolphin Bar, and we picked up the Wii like no time had passed at all. And throughout 2023, me and my family played the crap out of Wii bowling and made a bunch of happy memories.
And that's really what made the Wii so special. It was a game console that made memories that lasted a lifetime. So you know what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen? You need to break out that Wii or that Switch and have some fun. And so, I am General Lotz, wishing you good Wii Sports and good Switch Sports, or whatever makes you happy.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and please consider leaving a like or a comment, as the algorithm desires your soul. And I want to thank all those fans who have supported this channel, both past and present.